Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ETS2 Showcases, and in today's video, I'm going to be hauling this underground loader, a new special transport cargo type that came in with the 1.57 update from here in Narvik, Norway, and we will be heading over to Kiruna in Sweden, delivering to the underground ore mine that we visited in a previous episode. So without further ado, let's get our Volvo 780 started up and get on the road. And for today's video, I am not using any third-party modification. Everything you hear and see is Euro Truck Simulator 2 through and through. All right, time to get on the road and time to get completing a special transport DLC delivery here in the Nordic Horizons DLC. And I must say, leaving here in Narvik, what a fantastic depot. An incredible industrial complex here that we're picking up from today. Truly stunning indeed. And I don't actually know where our escort vehicles are today or lead vehicles, so we're gonna have to figure that one out. And of course, this is a steerable axle trailer, so I've got to be careful here. We're gonna use a little bit of grass to crab walk our way around there with this underground loader, which, as I said, is one of the new cargo types that came in for the special transport DLC in the 1.57 update. And today's delivery is, no surprise, one of 5 brand new special transport DLC routes here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, which is absolutely amazing. But as I've mentioned, this depot is incredible. I've showed up here to pick up this delivery because this is one of the deliveries where the underground loader is actually available to, because it's, for this particular cargo, a little bit more predefined, at least for this particular route. But to say it's incredible is a bit of an understatement. Incredible, well, port/industrial processing complex by the looks of it. Incredible to see, and absolutely stunning scenery here in Narvik. So we got to make our turn around here. At least it gives lots of space for turning. And I have gone into a parking lot and not out the gate. Lovely. I won't lie to you, I have absolutely no idea why I proceeded to turn left there, other than just a bit of a misunderstanding, shall I say, with the GPS, and a little bit of a leg spike there. So I have done a little bit of experimentation with a few settings here in ETS2 to see what I can do to improve things here in the game. And well, I'm gonna be honest with you, so far sorta-ish, not really so good. I don't really know what to say with the 1.57 update and the changes that happened. It's confusing, to say the least, and no matter what I do with graphics, it is still not affecting it in a positive manner. So things that I've tried with VSync are clearly not working at this point, and I'm actually seeing some screen tearing on my side. Hopefully it's not fully coming through on the recording. Yeah, that's not working. That's something that a few people may have said that could work, and something I had to just kind of go down the list and try. So unfortunately, not quite sure what's actually going on, other than just an immense amount of detail in select areas and potentially CPU limited performance being a culprit. But I feel like in the system I have, which is a Ryzen... oh, we got a traffic jam? Well, this isn't good. Well, one traffic clear later, and we're good to go. So that was kind of weird. The one AI was just stopped because it couldn't go into the roundabout because the, vehicles over here, the police officers, were kindly blocking the way. But in doing so, we're blocking the way of the AI car trying to get out. So that was fun. That was fun. So, I mean, you can obviously clear it with the developer console if you have that enabled. If not, the best way to do it, save your game, return to the main menu, and then load back in, and the traffic resets. That is one of the best ways to do it if you don't want to mess around with the traffic settings in the developer console. And yeah, I am still getting significant stuttering here, which is absolutely beautiful. Not really. I'm going to have to just try changing a few other key graphic settings in. And I'm going to still work this out, and I will let you know when I try and get this resolved. It's weird that some individuals are impacted by this more than others. And to that, I do not fully understand the extent of what's actually going on. My only other thought would be to see if there's other drivers that aren't updated on my computer. But even at that, the raw processing should be plenty capable. Don't really know. Kind of annoying, to be honest with you, the fact that there was no issues whatsoever before 1.57. 1.7 comes out. It initially was okay in the first episode or so of the ETS2 beta, at least. And then all of a sudden, it seemingly forgot how to perform in a smooth nature and has been getting progressively worse, pretty much episode over episode. Actually, is it mainly on the interior? I mean, the interior definitely takes a big hit. So, I wonder if it's some form of interior shadowing thing. I'm gonna try something. I don't really know. I'll let you guys know definitely when that occurs. Regardless of performance and some, well, typical special transport shenanigans like we've had today thus far, it's great to be here in the Nordic Horizons DLC once again. We've been on what some would call a generational run of videos here in Nordic Horizons, and I thank everyone for watching the videos, interacting with them, giving me your thoughts on them, and of course, just enjoying the content overall. And hopefully you are enjoying Nordic Horizons now that it's out and available for everyone. I know many of you have been, and thank you to those who have let me know in various methods and different channels, letting me know what you're thinking about the Nordic Horizons DLC thus far. And of course, Cruising Nordic Horizons is out and available as well, the World of Trucks event. A fantastic time overall for ETS2 players, and for players who play on American Truck Simulator as well. Well, we're in for a big old rush here soon, my friends, with Louisiana releasing very soon as well. So expect around here on the channel content to pivot from here on the Euro Truck Simulator side to a little bit more on the American Truck Simulator side, and then try and find a balance afterwards. That is my goal. I'm going to do my best to achieve that. It's just a matter of literally my time and availability. I will do what I can. And look at this absolutely beautiful bridge. I think a bridge that we're going to be going over by the looks of it, which is absolutely incredible. Going through a tunnel first. Nordic Horizons is truly stunning. So if it weren't for the random performance stuttering and hiccuping that I get now since the 1.57 update, and keep in mind I am not using any mods in this profile today at all. Yeah, it's really quite annoying, because if not, it would be truly beautiful to run through. And I mean, it still is, especially on exterior cam. It runs pretty half decent now. So, full transparency, then, I have no idea what's actually going on. Again, I've got a few other ideas for graphic settings I'll try, but I don't want to, you know, start tanking my graphics settings just because I guess these regions or 1.57 kind of broke the processing efficiency. I don't know. I really don't know. Hopefully it gets fixed without any form of major overhauling needing to be done on my end, but you know what? We'll just roll with the punches and see what can happen. Because I'm going back and forth between the exterior out of testing, and it really does improve when I'm exterior cam, generally. Yeah. Unfortunate, but the case. So here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, as I briefly mentioned earlier, there are 5 special transport DLC routes. Some of them are a little bit more particular or specific as far as I know. This one goes to the ore plant, or the ore underground depot, to which then obviously this underground loader is a more specialty cargo that can be hauled there, and other industrial pieces can go there as far as I know. This route isn't just for this loader, but it is one that this will populate on. There is another route, I can't remember specifically where it is, but it involves the wind turbine blades. There's at least one or two more that are specific for that, and then there's a few other general routes as well. Ranging in difficulty, ranging in location. I believe 3 of them are located in Finland, and 2, obviously including this one, 2 of them are Norway to Sweden. So keep that in mind as you're exploring around the Nordic Horizons DLC. You'll be able to find these special transport routes if you own the special transport DLC, which as far as I know is on a reduction right now anyways, because ETS2 is on sale given the release of the Nordic Horizons DLC, so you can get a pretty good steal of a deal on the game itself and various DLCs that have been out for quite some time, which is absolutely amazing. And you can then explore this for yourself. And for those who've been watching the channel for a while, you know I have what I will class as a love-hate relationship with the Special Transport DLC. Doesn't matter if it's Euro Truck or American Truck. The DLC itself can give me a bit of headaches. But everything from the lead cars or the escort vehicles just having a mind of their own, random issues across the delivery with the AI traffic just not working correctly. Like even in today's video, they were stopped in the middle of the road, and then this vehicle got stuck behind it because they don't pass. So there's, you know, some random things like that that honestly do take away from the enjoyment of the DLC and just make it a bit of a nuisance at times to try and complete a delivery. But you know what? If you could be patient, which is sometimes a challenge, the DLC is a lot of fun, and it does bring in some significant challenge in terms of doing different deliveries. Now, honestly, so far, today's delivery hasn't been too bad. Maybe I'm just, you know, subconsciously driving out of my mind. I don't really know. But I feel like I'm not doing too bad, other than, well, my own lack of navigating skills letting me down. So, I mean, this Volvo is a wonderful truck. Big old chassis on it, can handle the weight of this underground loader, and the steerable axles on this trailer is both a blessing and a curse. At least if you remember, if you have them and you basically drive down the middle of the road or give a little bit of actually lenience for the rear end, then you're fine. If you try and take a really wide turn, you're probably in danger of clobbering something on the other side. Regardless, but it is a big challenge, and depending on the location, some of these routes will be more challenging than others. This route seemingly is just a challenge in terms of particularly the driving ability, or the drivability of the trucks and the powertrain with all the hills and so on. Otherwise, though, it's not too bad, at least as of right now. And I will say, exterior view consistently is performing a lot better than interior view, which is interesting to say the least. But then it goes back to normal like here. As I said, I'm gonna work that out. I'm sorry I keep coming back to it, but it is such a prevalent issue and one that impacts a significant amount that I want to make sure it's corrected. A 30-kilometer-an-hour speed limit. That's a very slow speed limit. But okay. That's fine. We are in a beautiful region here in the Nordic Horizons DLC. Absolutely stunning. There is no way around it. It is a beautiful, beautiful DLC. No wonder why it's so popular amongst the community. It's incredible. Every single road you go on, the scenery is incredible. The detail level is incredible that goes along with it. Hats off, SCS Software. You've done an incredible job once again, and can't wait to see what happens in the future. So what I have done here, in just a very short-term test, as we go through here, I have reduced my scaling in the game from 400% to 300%. The idea, very briefly, is to see if that actually impacts the stuttering. I can notice a graphical difference, at least on my end, but performance-wise, go back to the interior, and it's not doing a thing. And now we are running 100% scaling, and And I will admit, it is doing okay so far, at least as we're driving, but the whole problem is intermittent to begin with. And I apologize that we're doing the test right now, but I figure, you know what, I might as well do it partially live with you as well, because I gotta try and figure something out for the sake of the videos. I'm getting really annoyed with the stuttering as we go and trying to figure out what's actually going on. So 100% interior and exterior seems to be running a whole lot better. Interesting. And I don't know if that's going to be consistent though. So now let's try 200% and see if we can get away with it here at very least. And if we can get away with it, I'll leave it for this episode because 200% scaling should still look half decent for everyone. I just prefer 400% personally because, well, I have in the past been able to run it not a problem. But I think we're going to have to I'm going to have to do a full-on graphics reset, I think. And if you're experiencing that issue with the stuttering, I am going to recommend you do the same. From what I can tell right now, because now we are locked at 60 frames per second, we are not experiencing the stuttering, interior or exterior, like I was throughout basically the majority of this video, and some of the past ones as well, again, intermittent. I think you need to do a full-on reset now of what the expectation is for graphics in ETS2. That's my only conclusion. I know some people have completely dropped away their settings and it's still having a problem, so maybe I'm just getting lucky right here. But I think for at least my system, I'm going to have to just do a complete rebalance, try and get scaling as high as possible, but maybe sacrifice something else to try and get the quality back. Which is a shame, and hopefully it doesn't translate too bad through the video. I record at a high enough bit rate that, you know, the quality should remain decent, and I would rather have a smooth delivery with less stuttering than one that is really stuttery but slightly higher quality to watch, because the stuttering is really annoying to see, at least in my view. So yeah, that's what it's going to be. I want to try and find that balance, but performance needs to be there. And never mind, there's a big old drop. Well, I think you are correct, friends. I don't think it really matters. I don't think it really matters which way you go. Regardless of what happens, your frames are just going to disappear. Like even now. The frames are still disappearing, especially on the interior. So there's some form of shadowing. Maybe it's the interior shadowing or something that is really broken, that when HDR support came in. I have no clue. It is a true shame. It really is. I will work it out. I'll do some extra testing as we go here with videos, and I will let you know what I have done to my graphics settings, because I think it's going to be a pretty significant overhaul. Again, unfortunate, but the case. In some ways, it's actually been okay that we've had these issues. Oh, we're down to 45 frames per second. Okay, and then we're back up to 60 when exterior. In interior, it drops. So something is seriously going on in the interior of the trucks at this point, and I don't think it matters with scaling, because my performance, I don't think it really matters scaling at this point. I do agree with people who have said it. I thought it could have been a fix because it does such if it was a performance threshold. It's not a performance threshold. I think it's just in-game. What I think is going to change frequently here, but I think it's finding a new balance in what works with your particular hardware and the game engine in its whatever efficiency it's operating at. Something in the game is not quite right for a number of hardware, and I don't know if it's a graphics performance update or if it's like a hardware or driver situation, or if it's a in-game engine issue. Regardless of what it could be, it's significantly annoying. And probably one of the first times I've actually been this annoyed at ETS2, or ATS for that matter, in terms of a main game update. Normally it's like, well, doesn't really impact me, whatever. This one is getting annoying because there's no evident solution. So I really hope it gets patched at some point, if it is a engine issue. And I've been trying to look up with forums and other individuals, see if like there's any common denominator here, and everyone's at a bit of a loss. Some people just completely changing their graphic settings help. Sometimes it just magically comes and goes. And some people didn't even notice the performance hiccuping at that point. So, I don't know what to tell you, friends. I really don't. We're just going to have to see how it goes in the future, and I will keep you updated, as I've mentioned before. All right. We're here. Bit of a prime rant aside, but I think many of you will at least sympathize with me. Even if you don't personally experience the issue, you could probably understand how frustrating it is to have stuff kind of thrown out the window for what has been now a number of years of fine-tuning, and running consistently to just out of nowhere be kind of worthless. So that's kind of the situation we're at. But we're here, parking outside of the underground depot. And just like that, we have completed a special transport delivery here in the Nordic Horizons DLC, and I will be completing another special transport DLC delivery here in ETS2 very soon. Here in Nordic Horizons, we'll try and do the wind turbine blade very soon as well. Obviously dependent on the Louisiana DLC and all of that good stuff. Comment down below what you think about Nordic Horizons DLC so far, and if you are experiencing the graphic issues like I've been talking about in today's video, comment down below if something for you has worked in particular, or if you're experiencing similar things to me where pretty much no matter what you do, you're still getting inconsistent frame drops and stuttering across the map, even though your hardware has plenty of headroom on it. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.